Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Profit Minds podcast. My name is Dr. Stephen Kirch, and I'm the creator of the Profit Minds Growth System, a unique blend of profit growth, productivity acceleration, and building business process for scale. In every episode, I interview entrepreneurs and small business owners from around the world with a unique story to tell. You can find this show on YouTube, LinkedIn, Apple and Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and more. Today, my guest is Susan Jarema of Grand Connection, and we'll be talking about the entrepreneurial journey and the importance of collaboration. Welcome, Susan.
Welcome, Stephen. It's nice to be here.
It's great to have you. Great to see you again. I'm a member of Grand Connections and have enjoyed my time there. But I don't think anybody that I've met or has certainly not people that I've had on the show has had this straight line path to where they are. So I love to hear the story, right? How did you get to where you are? Where did you start and how did you decide to form this Grand Connection thing?
Okay. Well, I've been an entrepreneur, I would say almost all my life. I did have a job once and I got fired. And then I decided never again was I going to work for anybody else. And I set off, this was like when I was 21. So, I've been, an entrepreneur. I guess it's in my blood basically, because as a kid, I did anything to make money. So my parents really didn't give us an allowance. So, it's up to us to figure out how to get some money. So lemonade stands, I used to make t-shirts and sell them. I would pick blueberries, lawn mowing, babysitting, the newspaper route. Yes, did it, done it all. And then one of the best things was, me and my best friend and my sister, we would put on productions as kids and we would make up these shows. So this kind of, I guess I think back and I'm doing events now with the Grand Connection. I'm thinking, where did I get, how did I kind of know about this? Well, I did them as a kid. We made the musical Grease. We had a yo-yo contest, a talent show, and we'd go around and we would go up and down the street and invite, sell tickets. I think it's really donation to the neighborhood kids. And then all the neighbors come, show up, and we did these shows for everybody and made spending money so we could get ice cream and stuff. So that was sort of the beginning. And then, the conversations at the table with my family. My parents had their own business too, my mom and dad. So, we didn't talk about anything but business. I think the dinner time was really catch up after the day of what's going on with all the business and everything. And, me and my sister are just listening in, and my sister sneaking, not eating her peas, which she always did. But, we talked about business a lot, and that's sort of all I knew growing up. I had some sports and things, but business in our family was a really important part, and being entrepreneurial and creative. And then, whenever you met people, it was, well, what are you doing to make some money? So it started very, very young. And that's
interesting. So it was a family business.
Well, my parents had a business of their own. My dad had a job too, but he did a business on the side, and my mom did the accounting and bookkeeping, and my dad did the strategy, and together they ran it, and it still runs. And now my sister and I are running it too, so it's something that's the side of the Grand Connection. And then I went into university and I took marketing. I wanted to be an artist originally because that's where the t-shirt business came. I used to paint on t-shirts and sold that, and then thought, well, I'm going to go into art. And somehow I got talked into business school instead. So I remember the first day of school walking down, the path at the university, and my friends were all going to fine arts, and I had to keep going to the Commerce Building, which was a little further down the way. And I was sad because this was I was the route, sort of my passion. And then I'm doing what I think my parents probably talked me into being a better choice for a degree. And, I moved into marketing and business schools because it seemed more creative and I could maybe tie it in. And I was totally into the advertising side of things. So, do you remember those Canes advertising festivals they had? What was it? It was like the Canes Film Festival, but it was like for ads. I can't remember what it was called. Yeah. But we used to go to it always. And then I thought, that's it. I'm going to be in advertising. That's my big thing. So it took a long path before I started my own marketing agency when did I start that? Around 2000. So it was a long route to that, but here I am now doing what I set out to do when I was a kid and doing advertising and marketing. And there's a lot of creative and there's a lot of art in it. And I have to have an idea for design because I do branding. And then, of course, the Grand Connection came about when COVID hit. So that's when I was down in Sedona in Arizona, and a mutual client had introduced Carolyn and I together. We used to work together 22 years ago. So we actually taught business classes at Douglas College here in Vancouver. And then, we had to work together, and we were friends for a long, long time. Then she moved away. We kind of parted in our ways. And when I was working with her, I'm in Sedona. I said, we haven't gotten together for so long. Why don't you come here? I have an extra room and I'm going to do some hiking and stuff. And there was a yoga festival going on, which I'm a yoga teacher on the side. Mm-hmm. And so she showed up. She just said, okay. And she showed up, and COVID hit. So she was on the flight. It was around March 12th at the time that she's flying. Within hours of her being on the plane, the pandemic hit officially. The flight, everything was canceled. Arizona declared a state of emergency, and she's up in the air. And I'm going, oh no, I just invited her to come to the state of emergency. And so she showed up. We did a lot of hiking because that was still open. We went to the Grand Canyon, and standing there, we talked about the world and business and all the things we've been through, and said, we need to help people. This is our calling. The divine download came, and we, came up with the idea to start the Grand Connection, and it happened at the Grand Canyon. That's why we call it the Grand Connection.
Oh, okay. I was wondering about that.
Yeah. And you see a lot of our marketing will have little pictures of the Grand Canyon in the background. It's not just the immense beauty of it and awe that business is about. It's also the fact that we were there when we came up with the idea.
Yeah. We're on the North Rim or the South Rim?
South Rim.
You were in the South Rim. Yeah. You were coming up from Sedona. So.
Yeah. So we did some hiking there. We didn't do the full hike. I'd done that in the past. We weren't set up for it, but didn't have the permits and stuff. And I think they probably closed it at the bottom, like the ranch down there and everything. I don't know. But we did some lovely hikes, and it's one of those places that you just have to go. It's so impressive. It gets you that, it's just, have you been there?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
In fact, during COVID, my wife and I did a 3-week camping trip around the Grand Circle in Utah.
Oh, lovely.
And spent a couple of days at the North Rim.
Yeah.
Which we actually like better than the South Rim because there's no people.
Right? Yeah. I would love to do it. And, I got some friends now. I did the Grand Canyon South Rim, down Angels Land, like Angels Land, down and
right.
Down and up. It sounds so weird to say down and up instead of up and down, but you go down and up.
Yes.
But I met lots of people, and they would go rim to rim.
Right.
They would run it. Like people were coming through in the middle of the night with headsets, and they'd run both like that. I don't have that level of fitness anymore, but that's pretty amazing to do. Well, and yours sounded like in a long hike. Did you go down too?
No, we weren't hiking. Right. Okay. This was, we did 3 weeks of camping around, Bryce and Zion and Capitol Reef and the Arches and all of those amazing national parks that are on the Colorado Plateau.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the southernmost one is the Grand Canyon.
So, and the amazing part about having your own business is you can do what you want to do when you want to do it. You can plan your own life around your business. So that's exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's great. It's one of those really nice benefits of being an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Well, I totally have the freedom lifestyle now. All of my business is now online. So I can do it from wherever I go. So I can spend time in the mountains. I can spend time I just got back from 2 months in Mexico. And it's just that freedom you have now that makes it so that you can do what you love, which is your business, because you've created the business that you want to do over your life. I've had businesses that were harder and tougher in the past, but now this last round, it's what I love and I'm passionate about, and I know that I'm helping other people. So it's a very nice time to be in.
Yeah.
Really.
No, it's great. And I actually think that's one of the positives out of COVID, was that now everybody sort of expects to do business like this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. No, and I've made great clients online. I've never met them in person. I feel I know you very well. You've spoken at our conference before. We come to our events, and we've never met in person, but it feels like we have.
yeah,
If I showed up, saw you at Starbucks somewhere, I would just feel like we've known each other for a long, long time.
yeah.
It's a new world with Zoom and other platforms to be able to connect online. And that's what we do with the Grand Connection. It's a virtual business networking group, and people connect online and create what we call grand connections, because they can be grand even if it's online.
It's certainly true. I've met a number of really wonderful people besides, you and Carolyn, really wonderful people through Grand Connections. And so that's one of the reasons I'm so glad to have you on the show and help you, spread the word about the amazing networking that happens. Let's talk a little bit about the importance of these connections in growing your business, and what what's the key to making this work?
For collaboration and networking.
Yeah.
Well, you need to have that clarity in what you're doing. I mean, this falls back in every part of your business and all your marketing. Even when I'm doing marketing with clients and building their websites, you got to be clear on what you do. And, it starts with who you are, what your skills are, how you can stand out, understanding the clarity on your customers, where to position yourself, all of that. So I call that the clarity bundle. There's just so much in there. But, as you get clear on what you're doing, and then you get clear on what you're offering and what value you offer, that becomes the base or the foundation of your who you are. And when you're meeting other people, that is going to be what they learn about. So then that moves into, of course, your messaging, right? How do you message yourself? And in networking, of course, people are going to want to know, meet with you. So you're going to meet them, and you're going to have a little short introduction. You might have a tagline. You have the name of your business. I mean, that's their first vision, or their vision being, your background, who you are. So, having that background, like you with your profit minds in the background, that's great, because when people meet you in networking, oh, what's that about? They already know you're about profitability. You're not a yoga teacher, for example, or that's not what you're focusing on. Even though you might be a yoga teacher, and I hear you're a singer, right? So you got that on the
That's true. Yeah.
So, but you're putting out there in what you display for meeting people, that clarity, and that comes from doing a bit of work. And people work with people like yourself, I'm sure, to understand how to position themselves, how to brand themselves. I work with people on branding, so I'll get them after they visited coaches that kind of can help them get that clarity on who they are, what they're doing, what their business model is, all that stuff. And then you come to me, and then I'll help you take that brand and align that brand on your website. So that's my other business, New Earth Marketing, that I've been running for 15 years, since before I started the Grand Connection. It's still running, but I'm passionate about that Grand Connection. And so I know we talked about, you got the clarity, you got, you get the brand and the messaging around it. And then you've got to have, how do you introduce yourself when you meet people? So when you're online, so you got to have that introduction, and how can you help other people? And, a lot of networking is not about you, right? It's about you listening, finding people that you think are a good fit to work with, either as a client or possibly as somebody you could hire yourself. But more importantly, is there a way that you can collaborate? Because it's through collaboration that you get the leverage that you could partner on things together, and your clients become my clients. My clients become your clients. And the people I know, and my network becomes your network. So it's just this wonderful network effect that happens through collaboration. And our giveaway that's going on right now is just a perfect example of that. Do you want me to talk about that a little bit?
Sure.
Yeah. So like a giveaway, if you haven't heard of a giveaway, everybody, we get, about 50 members will participate in the giveaway, and they all have a gift, and every gift is something of value. So there's, it's a win-win-win-win. The value of the gift will be for the people that can get the free gifts. So you can sign up and you can get all these gifts. And, it might be $8,000 worth of gifts, $10,000. The last one was around $10,000 of gifts from over 50 members. And for the members, this is really powerful way to get some visibility because we all work together. Everybody sends out a dedicated email to their own lists. So you got 50 people, everybody's list, let's say is, if at the smallest size is 1,000, that's 50,000 people that is this giveaway will reach. And it's actually more because a lot of people have 10,000 plus lists in our membership. So you're reaching, let's say 50,000 people. That's the low end of it through through emails. So some of these people are going to hear about you, hear about the giveaway. They're going to go in, look at it, scroll through the gifts. They're going to see it. Your brand is there. Your logo's there. What your gift is there. And when it's the right audience, they will sign up for your gift because they're interested in it. So you build your list. And it's just so powerful because everybody is helping to make, provide value by sharing these gifts to everybody. Our philosophy is grand giving, and everybody is helping market everybody else. And then we do restreams, which are kind of like, we're here on StreamYard at the moment, but that will go out. We can all pair our channels. So we just did some restreams this morning and we had 8 people and each of them put 3 channels on it. Well, I don't have 24 channels of, each reaching 1,000 people. I don't have that. I have my 100,000 followers that I have, but that's it. So this now we all paired, we all go out to all of our channels. So on social media, we're reaching way and way more people because it's the power of collaboration. And it's just so, so strong. And I just feel that, everybody needs to know that you don't have to do it alone. By being and working and partnering with other people in all sorts of ways, you can reach way more people and way more in your audience. And then there's also, all the things you can learn from everybody else too. You can learn from all the other people with different skill sets. I know people like one member, he's in tech, another one, she's a naturopath. They became best friends and they traded services, right? He helped her get her computer all organized and free and clean of malware and all this other stuff. And she she helped him help on his health journey, So it's just, there's always something that you can learn from somebody else, and everybody has something to give. And it's just such a fun place to be part of, like any community. Of course, you may also, anybody listening here, any community that you belong to, look for the ways that you can be of service to other people, and it's going to come back to you.
Oh, it certainly does. It's just amazing the connections that I've made with groups like Grand Connections and Grand Connections, sure, but also other organizations that I'm a part of. Again, with people I've never met, and so it's fun to do that. We've talked a little bit about marketing, and you have a long background in marketing. Are there specific strategies that you're recommending today for people?
One thing is I think there's a sense of overwhelm in the world right now. This is why I got into yoga about 10 years ago, that I need that calm side. I need to get balanced and centered. Right. And you have the nice thing about, a yoga practice, and your business can actually, when you learn yoga, you're learning about, how you are within the world, how you can stay balanced, how you can stay calm, and, how you, when you're pushing yourself in yoga and you're doing that pose a little bit longer, you do those same things in your business. You're taking the yoga off the mat. They call it yoga off the mat. And, I think now, we need to be really careful because there's all this new technology. There's all this, and I get people come to me and they're just like, I'm overwhelmed. I'm so stressed out. I don't know what to do. There's just so much content out there, and they lose their focus on their own business. And I'm sure you talk to this with your clients as well, is you need to have focus. You need to think about it strategically. And this is where it comes to planning strategically. What do you really want? What is the final objective? What are you trying to sell? Is that a product that the market is going to want? You've done your research, let's say that is, and then you kind of work backwards to have the, you get the clarity on everything, where you want to go, what that goal is, you want to sell that, but work backwards. But don't overcomplicate things. Don't do so many things that you can't do it all well. I have a talk I do called The Power of One. And, think about one product, one campaign, one audience, and just focus and make that really good and tight. So for example, if you had like a course, if that course didn't work, well, why didn't it work that you were trying to sell it? Say you're trying to sell it, instead of going on and just building the next course and saying that didn't work, think about, really do the research. Why didn't this work? Can I fine tune this? How do I make this work? Maybe it was the marketing. Maybe it was the conversions. Maybe I didn't have the whole funnel set up properly, and that's why it didn't work. So think about one path and really tighten it up, but be simple with it. You don't have to be marketing. I have done nothing on some of the other TikTok. Like I'm not even on TikTok. I have a marketing agency and I've never used TikTok. I think I followed it once to check it out one time, but that's it. I don't have to focus on that. Like I focus on building an email list. Facebook, LinkedIn work the best for our Grand Connection. We do a little bit of Instagram. That's it. I'm not going to do TikTok. I don't do a whole bunch of reels right now because I have to focus on what is working and fine tune that before I overwhelm myself.
I think that's really important. And I certainly talk to my clients about that. So many entrepreneurs get the shiny object syndrome, right?
Yeah.
You're chasing the latest and greatest, right? And I'm sure you have the same problem, right? How many emails a day do you get about AI and how AI is going to either remake the world or destroy the world? Or how to leverage it in your marketing, in your course building, in your, whatever it is, right? It's all about AI. And while, yeah, it's amazing technology, it can certainly help defocus.
Oh yeah. And use up a lot of time. I mean, AI does save you some time. So, find that one tool you're going to use. And, what's great about the Grand Connection is we had some master classes on technology, and a lot of people shared their AI tools that they're using. Talk to other people, see what they're using. Get that'll help you speed up your research process, and then try it out. Sunday could be AI day. Okay, on Sunday I'm going to play with AI after I go for my yoga class and my run or whatever you're doing, and then come back and play with it and find some that use, because it does save time. I use it. I do use it. I'm using it now
Sure.
to help me write content, and it speeds things up. And I'm getting my VAs that work for me to use it too, to help us with our social posts. And it's going to save us some time, and that time savings can save you even more time to maybe learn a bit more AI, but it is overwhelming. It's just, there's like hundreds of tools out there.
That's right. Oh yeah. And but I think you're right. Again, that's one of the powers of collaboration. So I know with Grand Connections, you have what you call grand strategic power teams. Why don't you say a little bit about those?
So we've started really focusing on helping people build a team, and we can't connect you with everybody to make your team perfect, although we know lots of members, and we'll try to make those grand connections in the community. But part of it is just planning out who's going to be in your grand strategic team. So I have two teams we'll do an activity where we do two circles. So the first circle is for referral partners. So these are people who you can refer and they can refer back to you. And I take the circle, I divide it in half. So the top part are people that will refer to me. So these are people who see a problem that I can support. So for me, let's say it's my web design business. Anyone on the top circle might be a business coach who notices somebody has a bad website. It might be an SEO consultant, it might be a marketing agency, a branding agency, SEO. I already said SEO company, social media people. Business coaches are one of the biggest ones, because they'll go and they'll say, you know what, you're getting, you've got all these things in place now, but now you need to get to your website, go talk to Susan, because they're not going to want to build a website. Everybody needs to focus and niche down on what they're the very, very best at, or what they love the most, or both, hopefully. So that's the people on the top. So on the bottom of my circle, so I start thinking, okay, I need business coaches, and it'll be like my little plan. I'll just scribble in names of people, or in general business coaches in one quadrant, and then all the names of people I think are really good ones, and then I'll have one-on-ones with them. It's my planning tool. And then below the line are the people that I would refer to. So when I notice a problem, when I'm working with them, like let's say they have bad copy, and it's not something I'm going to do for them, I would refer them to that, or somebody to create an ebook. Maybe they need to have, an ebook in place on their website. And so I'll refer them down to there. So those are the people I'm going to notice a problem that they have, and I'm going to be the solution provider and send them to somebody else. So it's just great. And like I would send them to you. So to have these people in your circle, though, on the top part, I need to be really clear on what value I offer and the solutions I provide and who those people are, so that I can look and listen for them when I'm networking. So I often need, and then the people on the bottom side, the people that I need to refer to. So, I mean, I'm always looking for photographers and videographers locally for my clients that are local.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's something that I'm every time I meet somebody, I'm checking out their portfolio who's in that, does that service, so that I have good people to refer people to in their area. And, I listen for that. And then my clients, when I can help them in any way possible, that I'm helping them. I'm still providing value, even though it might not be a website. I'm actually saying, here, go talk to this person for your photos. They're great. It saves them a bunch of time and they love me.
Sure.
So you got this circle. So I got that one circle that's my referral partners. And then the other one we used to have them all together, actually. And we started seeing it's kind of messy. So I separated the circles. So now there's a circle for grand connections, which are more of your collaborative partners. So podcasters, for example, other podcasters. So you have a podcast, other podcasters are probably your referral, your partners that you want to do reciprocal podcast interviews with. Or maybe I've been working on books and I like to do those collaborative books. Maybe it's people who are doing other collaborative books. So this other pie is all of the people I want to form partnerships, not necessarily that's a referral partner, but that it's a very good strategic alliance for partnerships. And Carolyn and I ourselves, we're a strategic alliance because we work together. We partner together in a business. And a lot of our members have done that. They've partnered together to form organizations, to form new courses, to write books together, to form trainings, to podcast interview. It's just endless what you can do, because you aren't doing it alone. And the more you can work with other people, the more you can leverage their audience, your audience, their skills, and create more value and more money and more profit.
Well, there is that.
Yes.
So Susan, if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, what's the best way for them to reach out?
I'm easily found on LinkedIn under my name. There's only 2 of us in the world, and you'll know me because the other person isn't in the same industry. So LinkedIn's a great one. Also, the grandconnection.ca is a perfect place to start. Just go to grandconnection.ca. You can check out our events. You're able to come to 2 events as a guest anytime you want. So, check it out and see what it's all about. The power of collaboration is just a phenomenal tool for businesses. And by far, even though I'm a marketing agency and I know everything about all the different marketing channels and things to do, by far for small businesses, finding people to work with in partnerships, collaborating is the best way to grow your business. Saves you money, time, it lasts forever.
That's great. And that concludes our show. So thanks to our guest, Susan Jarema. I hope you've learned something about making grand connections. I know I did. So this is Dr. Stephen Kirch of Profit Minds. Make sure you catch us again next time on YouTube, LinkedIn, Apple and Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and more. Of course, I'd appreciate a good review on any of those platforms. Thanks again for joining us.